Okay. So today we are going to learn about class again. We still continue about the different way of writing class, right? So let's till now we have understand ki we can write one class, right? One
Mm-hmm.
class, one class here, and this class generally your class name, right? Whatever the
Mm-hmm.
class name you have, okay, and after that you have defined here maybe field one, right?
Yeah.
Field two, variable, right? Multiple field.
Yeah.
And till now we discuss here you can write the constructor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Constructor is same name as a class name, right?
Right.
And we discuss ki multiple method you can write, right? Method
Yeah.
one, method two, get method, set method, anything, right?
Right.
So this is the look like your class,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And let's one of the another feature is a object oriented known as a inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Inheritance,
Inheritance. Yeah.
okay. Inheritance means now we have one class, and you I am going to write another class or another object. They can inherit some property and some method inside this class.
Mm-hmm.
That means this class, whatever the new class I am going to write,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to write, I want reuse. This is the variable one, variable two already defined here. I want to don't define again variable here, right? I want to
Mm-hmm.
just reuse this variable again here. Or
Right.
some method already defined here. I don't go to define again here. Just I want to
Okay.
reuse, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is the one use of inheritance. Inheritance is the one use. If you have a one class already exist and you have a define some variable and define some method and same kind of things you want here, but more additional something more, right?
Okay.
So instead of writing this duplicate here again and again and additional things as well as, why not we can use the existing one?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because unnecessary writing again code new class and defining again same variable here, right? Same
Mm-hmm.
variable here, same method here, a plus additional as well as.
Right.
So this way Java designers say we can reuse existing classes and existing method.
Okay. Okay. That's called inheritance.
No, this is the one use, not the just it is.
Okay.
So this is the one use case. Sometime you want to
Mm-hmm.
reuse the
Mm-hmm.
existing variables method. I
Right.
don't want to define again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
that means we are going to reuse the code. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for reusing, there are two way to reuse the code.
Mm-hmm.
So one is the inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
One is the inheritance to use the code.
Acha.
And later class, we have to also learn another way to reuse the code.
Acha.
So for code reusability, we have a two terminology. One is the inheritance, another is the composition.
Which one is the composition you said?
Composition. Code reusability.
Of course, code reuse.
Whenever you want to reuse the existing code, let's keep have already written one class, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here you define some variable, some method, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to write another class, but I decided I think already have written something here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why I am going to again write something here again?
Right.
Why not use again this code already which is written?
Right.
Okay. So this code reusability, code can be reused, can be reused is a two way.
Mm-hmm.
One is the composition,
Okay.
another is the inheritance.
Acha. Acha.
So inheritance is the one way, composition is another way. Okay,
Oh,
so we
okay.
will discuss composition in later classes, right?
Okay.
Okay. Today we are discussing about the inheritance, right?
Sure.
So inheritance is just not only for reuse. Okay, this is
Okay.
the one use of inheritance, code reusability, right? But
Okay.
this is not the actual use of inheritance. But sometime while writing code, we are using inheritance for code reusability. But
Mm-hmm.
this is not the actual meaning of inheritance,
Acha, acha, acha.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look some example.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so let us example like we have a two example. Let's say we have one example like a car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the car.
Right.
Now we have a maybe Audi car. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
maybe Mercedes. Also, this is the car. Maybe
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So all are the car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
if uh, there are some property in car, like car must have a some model name, some wheel, glass, lots of property, right?
Right.
And I'm going to decide a specific car for Audi car, right? Or
Right.
Maruti, or different, right?
Right.
So this way, some existing model we are going to reuse. Means ki already car is a relationship. You can say your Audi is a car, right? If car
Mm-hmm.
class already exists, okay, then we
Mm-hmm.
can say I'm going to create a specific class for like Audi car, right? So some
Mm-hmm.
feature, something already we written in the side car class, so we can use in the Audi car, because car Audi car is also car, right? You can say ki
Right.
Audi car is a car, right?
Car. Right.
That means ki whenever we have a two class
Mm-hmm.
and that have a,
Mm-hmm.
is a relationship, right? You can
Right.
say like Audi car, Audi car is a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or similarly another example like animal is the one class you define, animal. And here like a cat. Okay, you are defining cat, so you can say the
Mm-hmm.
cat is animal.
Cat is an animal. True.
Similarly dog is animal.
Right.
So here you can say this is the one animal class and this is the one cat class. So they
Mm-hmm.
have a some relationship here. If
Yeah.
this relationship is a relationship, you can
Mm-hmm.
say this car like a cat is a animal, then this is the relationship inheritance,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or dog is a animal, is a relationship. But let's see here
Right.
like we create one like another object, maybe a tree. This
Mm-hmm.
one object a tree. So you can say a tree is a animal.
No, it's
So
a
in this case, we cannot use a relationship inheritance.
okay.
Tree can be one class,
Mm-hmm.
animal can be one class, but there is no relationship like is a. So here
Right.
we cannot use inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
So inheritance is a thumb rule. Whenever you are talking two object, you have to check the relationship between the two object. Both object have a relationship like is a, then you can say in this place we can use the inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Like a human being, this is another class, human being, right?
Mm-hmm.
Human being class. Like a man, like a
Mm-hmm.
woman, right? The
Right.
man is a human being, woman is a human being. This is the is a
Mm.
relationship. But I
Right.
cannot say कि man is an animal, right?
Right.
So we cannot make a inheritance relationship between this animal class and a man class. But
Mm-hmm.
man class kind of relationship with the human, right?
Okay.
So this is a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So inheritance is the actual terminology of the programming. But for understanding where we can use the inheritance, we have
Mm-hmm.
to we have to check the relationship between the both object. Both object have a is a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
then you can say here the use of inheritance. So clear, inheritance is the relationship between the two classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Class A and class B. Okay,
Right. Mm-hmm.
is a relationship. But what kind of relationship is a relationship? If you can say A is a B, then you can use the inheritance. If you
Okay.
cannot say A is a B, then you cannot use the inheritance.
Okay. Okay.
This is a thumb rule where we can use inheritance, where we cannot use inheritance. So you have to
Okay.
just inheritance is just relationship. What is the in the real terminology also inheritance is a just relationship between the two object. Okay,
Right. Okay.
like I have a relationship my child, right?
Child.
My
Yeah.
I have father, I have my child. So I have
Right.
a relationship because why?
Mm.
My child is a human being, I am also human being, right?
True.
So whenever we have a relationship, a kind of easy relationship where we can use inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
So what the terminology inheritance means? Inheritance means like a good example in our human being, I, I and my son, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lots of property, like
Mm-hmm.
I have a my might I have a my house, I
Mm-hmm.
have a car, I have a
Right.
different item, right?
Right.
My but I have also my name, also
Right.
have my maybe a
Social
qualification,
income,
right?
equality.
I
Uh-huh.
have a house, I
Right.
have a car, lots of things I have, right?
Right.
But now we have my son also. Why is that so?
Yeah, he does
So
that
my
too.
son can by default inherit some property. Like
Some house.
my property or my house by default become a son property, right?
Right.
My car, whenever I'm not, by default become a my son car, right?
Right.
But my qualification cannot become a son qualification, right?
No.
My name cannot become a my son name,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So while inheriting property from this one object to another object, there is a some rule. Some property, some attribute can be inheritable. Some property cannot be inheritable, right?
Uh-huh. True.
So my son, lots of my property can be inherited. My surname, by default, they can inherited, right?
Right.
My all the relationship, my also my mother, my grandmother, all by default have a relationship with my son, right?
True.
There are some attributes, some
Mm-hmm.
my characteristics by default my child can inherit. Okay,
Acha.
that means what? Whatever I build my house, this house is used by my son. That means they
Mm-hmm.
are reusing the house, right?
Right.
So inheritance terminology come from our relationship, right? So
Uh-huh.
same concept we are implemented in our programming language. Same word inheritance. Inheritance means we have one class, class one, and we have another class B. I want to make a relationship. Why relationship? Something they can inherit here, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
cannot.
Right.
So in computer, like here I say I, this is my son. In
Mm-hmm.
a computer language, he say "Ki this is the class, this is also class, or this is the object, this is also object. So
Mm-hmm.
this class from where the characteristics are inherited, known as a base class, right?
Right.
This is the like a child class.
Mm-hmm.
So now, whenever we are making any relationship between the two classes, class 1 and class 2, I want to make a relationship like inheritance relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Inheritance relationship, that means is a relationship, is a
Right.
relationship. That
Mm-hmm.
means this class, top level class, you can say base class, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this is the child class
Correct.
or subclass, multiple name, right? Subclass.
Right. Right.
Here, sometimes say this is the base class or parent class. This is
Mm-hmm.
the parent class, this is the child class, or this is the
Mm-hmm.
base class, this is subclass.
Mm-hmm.
So this terminology sometimes used. Parent class or base class. Both are the refer means from where the characteristics going to inherited in the different class.
Correct.
And this is the might be child class or subclass. These are the terminology we use. Or
Mm-hmm.
derived class sometimes, right? Derived
Correct.
class.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's known as super class. This is a super class. This is a derived
Mm-hmm.
class. So generally, three terms we can use for the top level class here. So super class, parent class, or base class,
Base
right?
class. Okay.
From where the property going to inherit in the another object, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this class, which are inheriting the property, known as a child class, subclass, or
Mm-hmm.
derived class.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the theory of your inheritance. Inheritance means we have a one object and we are writing another object. They are inheriting some property from the existing class, right?
Yeah.
Same inheritance, the meaning of as a our human being follow. Inheritance means inheriting something. Generally,
Mm-hmm.
I inherit multiple property from my parent, right? My parent
Yeah.
take inherited property from the her parent, right? His parent, right?
Right.
So inheritance is a chain, right? This is my yes. This is my grandparent.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is my parent.
Mm-hmm.
This is I, right? This is my
Mm-hmm.
son, right?
Right.
So lots of property can be inherited from here to here
Mm.
to here. Like surname. We are inheriting from grandfather to parent, parent to me to my son, right?
Right.
So this is the multi-label inheritance. Such relationship known as a multi-label inheritance. Means multiple label of inheritance going on,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Plus, be noted, only some characteristics are inheritable, not all, right?
Acha.
All the characteristics of my grandparent cannot be inherited by my parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like example, qualification, like a name, right? These are
Right.
the not inheritable things. But something
Mm.
like a property, relationship, money, all the things can be inherited, right?
Can be. Yeah.
Similarly, from parent, I can inherit. Similarly, from me, my son can inherit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the relationship generally we look in our living standard, right? The same
Mm-hmm.
relationship are used in the programming language, like a
Yeah.
class A, okay, class A and class B,
Mm-hmm.
class C, class D. You can write,
Okay.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
some
Okay.
property of here can be inherited here, right? Some
Okay.
property of B can be inherited here. Some property of C can be inherited here.
All right.
A property means here in the class property means variable or method, the two things, right?
Acha. Acha.
But in our real life, lots of property. But in the class, generally might be variable name or method name. These two things can be inherited here, right?
Okay.
Similarly, from here can go here.
Acha.
So these are the known as a multi-label inheritance.
Acha.
Till now, any question? What is inheritance?
No, no, I got it. Yeah.
So, so inheritance means you inherit the characteristics of the class, not
Correct.
everything inside the class.
Right. Not everything, something.
Something, okay.
In
Yeah.
class,
Everything.
lots of
Yeah.
things you can define, right? But all the
Yes,
things I don't want to inherit, right? Like here, in my grandparent, all the characteristics are not inherited to my parent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
right, right,
my grandparents' name is a different. This
Right.
name cannot be inherited here. Surname can be. Like his qualification cannot be inherited to his qualification, right?
True.
right, true.
The something very personal of the each object, right?
Right.
Right.
Those personal things is not inherited.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I see.
Something that can be publicable can be inherited.
You're right.
Okay. Hmm.
So here
But
similarly in the class, In the
Yeah.
class, you can define many number of variable 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Right.
Method 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 method. But I
Right.
only interested these two variable can be inherited. This cannot, right? So I can.
Right.
And similarly in
Mm.
the method, 10 method I can define. I want this two cannot be inheritable. This can be inheritable, right?
Right.
So we have to decide, right? So let's assume
Right.
something can be inheritable, some cannot be inheritable.
True.
Okay. Mhm.
So till any confusion with the theory part, till I'm not uh, go to the code part. Let's understand the concept. Inheritance means whenever we have a one object, I want to going to create another object and make a relationship between the two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Relationship between two, that relationship is a relationship, right? If
Right.
we have is a relationship, that means this class, this wants something getting from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why make a relationship? If this is the two independent class, two independent object, they are working independently, they are working independently. But this needs some help or something, then they make a relationship with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Then if relationship is a good, then he can give something, right?
Right.
The
Right.
real life, I'm independent, you are independent. Why make a relationship? Means something I want to exchange, right? In
Right.
real life. Similarly, there are lots of classes you are creating, class 1 and class 2. This class want to something from here. That means they make a some relationship.
Right.
So till now, we have learned one relationship is a relationship, right? And
Right.
next class, whenever we study, one way has a relationship, right? Has
Mm-hmm.
a relationship. Has something I have, something is a. This is the
Mm.
known as a composition, which we'll discuss later, and this is the inheritance, right?
Right.
Currently, today studying inheritance is a one kind of relationship in our application, right?
Right.
So indirect in the computer language, whenever you're going to make a relationship, the relationship can be two kind. One is a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
that is the inheritance, right?
Okay. Easy relation. That's inheritance. Okay.
Inheritance. And
Yeah.
another relationship has a. Has
Has
a
it.
is a composition.
Mm-hmm.
Composition, right?
Right.
Like has a relationship. Similarly, like lots of relationship we'll discuss. Good example like car. Car has a engine, right? We have a
Right.
car have an engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So car is the separate class, engine is the separate class, but car want without engine car cannot exist. So we have a has a relationship. Car has an engine so that car can run, right?
Right.
True.
Mhm.
So similarly, I have a pen, I have a laptop. So
Mm-hmm.
me and my laptop has a relationship. I have a laptop, right?
Right.
I am not
Right.
laptop. I cannot say I am a laptop, right? But I can say
Mm-hmm.
I have a laptop. So such
Mm-hmm.
relationship known as a has a relationship.
Acha. Acha.
And similarly, this is the is a relationship.
Mm. Acha.
So like my child, I am a parent, I am a human being, my child is also a human being. So me
Mm-hmm.
and my child son relationship is a relationship, right? Both are the
Right.
human.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever these are the real life use terminology generally use a relationship like is a, has a, same concept we are going to implement in our code as well as. So
Acha.
today our topic was the understanding inheritance. So you are not going to create a class 1 and
Mm-hmm.
just make a relationship class B. Okay, you
Ah.
can compiler do by default do, but you have to think carefully. This both object have a easy relationship or not, right? If easy
Mm-hmm.
relationship, that means this is a valid inheritance. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
a relationship, still you can compiler not enforce. Lots of time compiler is not enforcing anything, but as a we developing application, that means ki our objective is there are some real time problem we are going to map in the computer, right, and the programming language.
Mm-hmm.
So similar things we have to implement here. So in short, theory of the inheritance is the just is a process from one where inheritance is the process from where one class can acquire the property from another class, right?
Okay.
Is it clear? This is the definition. Inheritance is the process by which one class can
Mm-hmm.
acquire the property or characteristics from the another class.
Okay.
This is the definition, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here, this definition theory, how we're going to write in the code? We have to write the first this class, right? And write
Right.
this class
Mm-hmm.
and make a relationship, right? And once
Mm-hmm.
relationship done, then I can inherit something here, right?
Okay.
These are things we are going to do.
Okay.
The theory is clear.
Yeah.
Inheritance is the process by which one class can inheriting the properties from another class.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Any doubt with inheritance?
No.
No.
Is it clear? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
let's look how we make this relationship in the code, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sure.
So what our objective? First, we are going to write this class, right?
Right.
Right.
Again,
We
write
have.
this class,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
then making a relationship, right?
True.
Then inheriting something, right? And check its work or not, right?
Right.
So I say कि this top level class sometime you say three name: parent class,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
super class, or base class. See meaning of the three terminology, right? For
Mm-hmm.
this class, which are inheriting feature, you can say child class, or subclass,
Okay.
or derived class. So three terminology used for this.
You said derived class or base
Derived,
class?
derived
Okay.
class. They are derived some property from the top level, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can I start the coding?
Sure.
Till now, any confusion, doubt with theory of the inheritance?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Good. So let us example. I am going to here write one class. Let's keep class name as a parent. Okay,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the parent class. There is no right.
All right.
Okay, and this is the basic minimum syntax for writing class. Now parent class is ready.
Mm-hmm.
Now another class like child class.
Mm-hmm.
Look at child class. Now
Mm-hmm.
this two class is the independent class. Okay,
Okay.
there is no any relationship, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
created one class, parent class. This is the child class, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's see the parent have a some property. Let's see parent have a name, right?
All right.
Parent name, right?
Sure.
And one more like parent have a qualification, right?
Mm-hmm.
String qualification.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we have two property, and let's this two property surely is the very private, very personal, right? Parent name and qualification. Let's define some property like property, right?
Mm-hmm.
String like a property. They have a properties, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now this parent class have a this thing.
Mm-hmm.
This child is the first. This is the two independent class. This is
Mm-hmm.
the first two independent class. There is no relationship. So in computer, in a programming language, how to define relationship, right? So Java given a syntax. How say that this is this relationship?
Mm-hmm.
So if you so here we can create independent your parent class.
Mhm.
parent, and let's should constructor something, right? So that with
Mhm.
parent down they need something, right? So
Mhm.
here, what is the constructor? Constructor is the same, just as a block of code, right? But the name is the same as a class name, right? Class name,
Mhm. Right.
the constructor, right?
Mhm.
And in this constructor, let's key I want a string name and a string qualification
Mhm.
and a string property, right? Three.
Mhm.
And whatever the while the creating object, someone pass like here name equal to whatever the name, right? And
Mhm.
qualification equal to qualification, and
Mhm.
proper property equal to property. Okay. So
Mhm.
now this class is the at least we have created one class parent. Parent have a some characteristics, and why this constructor means ki while creating object we need a
Mhm.
path, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Right, one parent, and parent like new
Mhm.
parent. Parent maybe name John, okay,
Mhm. Mhm.
and let's keep qualification BTech, okay, and
Right.
property maybe car, okay,
Mhm.
or house, whatever, right?
Mhm.
Great. So now we have created one parent class, and now we can also create the child class, child, new, yes, a child.
Mhm.
So if these the parent class, these are child class. I want at least if this is the child, they can inherit the property like this properties, right? They
Mhm.
cannot inherit like name and qualification, but they can inherit the properties of her parent, right? Or his parent, right?
Right.
So if I say here child child dot get property something, right? But there is
Mhm.
no any kind of method here. There is no any property. But let's yesterday I discussed with Riyadh. Whenever you're declaring any parent class, all this should be like a private, okay?
That's correct.
Right?
Yeah.
So that someone cannot go access from outside, right? Here.
Right. Right.
So I want to here, if you want to out my parent property, right? Parent have
Mhm.
a how to get the property? That's I say we have to write one method to get property, right? So it studies get property, right?
Mhm.
Get property. So I have written what method get property, right? And now you can say parent dot get property. So
Okay.
notice parent
Uh,
have a property, right?
it was void yesterday. It was void.
Get
Get.
method is return value. Set method is a void, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. I see. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
So till now we have created one parent class. Parent have a his name, qualification, and house. And if you print the parent dot get property, I say parent have a property like one house. Okay.
Mhm.
But now we have a child class. Child class is the independent class. But I want to make a relationship. This child must have this property, right? House. If you say I am going to like this code like here child
Mhm.
object, what is the child property, right?
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
don't have, because why this class compiler go this is the child is the object of this class, going to check this class don't have any method, right?
Method there, yeah.
Right.
We say I don't know what is the property,
Right.
but
So,
here this class independent, this class independent, there is no relationship.
no.
So first I am going to make a relationship. So
Okay.
this child class say this is the relationship extend
Mhm.
keywords and the parent,
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, yeah, extends point. Okay.
right?
Mhm. Sure.
So whenever you type this,
Then I can just
and
like
this is
properly
the
and
relationship,
everything.
okay,
Okay. Yeah. I can inherit the property in here now.
right? So this class can inherit some property which you decide, not all the thing, right? So
Exactly.
So this parent class say parent class must have a name, age, qualification. That
Hmm.
means child also needs something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Child also some need like a name, something, age, right?
But that
And this,
should be the different. There's his qualification versus parents' qualification. It would be
right,
different.
right. So here, child also have a like, kind of a name and qualification is the
Hmm.
same. This should
Hmm.
be personal, right? But
Okay,
properties should be inherited, right?
that should be
Property can
inherited.
be inherited here. I
Right.
child does not build any property till now. That means
Mm.
they can get from her parent,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
child have a own name and qualification.
True.
So whenever I read the right constructor, right,
Hmm.
to create the child object, I child object say like here name,
Hmm.
child name,
Hmm.
and child qualification, right?
Hmm.
And here should be again name, whatever the child name equal to name,
Hmm.
and qualification equal to qualification, right?
Okay.
But here compiler is not happy. Compiler
Uh,
is say this is saying something error here. No default constructor available for a parent. So here trying to say कि whenever you are invoking this, I'll just add one thing default constructor here demanding default constructor.
mhm.
Just default constructor means a constructor with no argument, right? This okay default constructor. So now you are ready. Now child have a name qualification, right? And parent have a name qualification plus properties. Is it clear?
Right. Right.
अब notice now here child is able to access property. No, this child class we're not defining any kind of
Property here.
properties. Let's here a child name
Hmm.
Smith. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
qualification 10th. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
and property nothing, right?
No. Yeah.
So notice this child have a property method already get. If you note this child class, in this
Mm.
child class there is no any property.
No property here.
But
Exactly.
still, if you notice child dot get property you are able to access. If you run this, you can get the child property as well as. So from where this child property come?
This from the parents.
But you see the getting a null.
Because of uh, we just mentioned that, but we didn't do anything from that. We didn't mention this. What's called that private? I don't know. Just like what do you call this one? That is a
Just
private name, private thing.
mm.
So that is a under the class. That is the string
So,
you call.
so notice here by default property method we are getting output null, right?
Uh-huh.
Why? Because I say ki this is the your property private
Hmm.
and this is your property. Okay.
Yeah.
So here think now parent class have a like this property. This have a, whenever you create this class object, they have a house property. But whenever
Also,
you're creating the child object,
yeah, we didn't mention anything in there.
we're not mentioning anything,
Right.
right?
Right.
So so how do how this property can inherit
Okay. That is the.
whatever the parent have. If let's how do so there are multiple way. So here only problem is that ki whenever this object created
Mhm.
right, this object created with the three attribute. Okay, three
Yeah.
attribute you are setting this name,
Yeah.
qualification, and
Medical version in the house.
right. And now whenever you create this child object, the new object is created, new object is
Name,
created.
yeah, name
But
and
whenever the child object going to create it, at the same time parent object also going to create it.
right. But there is a two things under the child, but there is a three things under
So,
the.
so
Uh,
here notice,
mm, uh-huh,
uh, just let me, I write here one thing as out. Notice here,
mm,
default
uh-huh,
constructor,
uh-huh.
constructor call.
And yeah,
So whenever I am going to create this class object, this is the relationship. This is the relationship say
it
कि
is
whenever
excellent.
child object going to create, they are going to create first parent object,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
now here I am not calling the parent object. The by default parent going to create with the
Those
default.
things. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Default, if you notice here, default by default, this is the property like a property.
How?
If you notice here, so notice here call.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever let's I comment out for now. Okay, let's I comment out, right? So whenever
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to create child object,
Mm-hmm.
because child is a relationship with a child is the relationship with the parent, right? So
Mm-hmm.
the
Right.
rule is said कि whenever child object going to create, the parent class must to going to create first. The first
Mm-hmm.
going to create the parent class. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
once parent class created, after that this child class going to create. So whenever here we are going to create the parent class, for parent class we are not setting anything, right? So all things are the null. Default value is the null. But child class have a name and qualification. The child class have a name and qualification,
Right.
but property doesn't have.
There is the one thing you said in the parent class. We didn't mention anything, but like with the parent class, we already just mentioned just a name qualification and then
Let's
property.
let's be simple way.
Sure.
Let's be simple way. Let's be simple. Let's with very simple things. I am just removing it. I am simply
Mhm.
say कि I am not getting very simple for understanding. Let's
Uh-huh.
whatever the personal things we can
Mhm.
get from this here. Personal things for the only this personal thing, right? So as
Uh-huh.
of now, this is the personal things of your right,
That yeah.
right. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and this is the property. Okay, let's I
Mhm.
say property they have like a house.
Acha.
Okay, as of
Uh-huh.
now, it's a simple thing.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now they have a one thing property like this,
Uh-huh.
or whatever the initial property you can say. Simply say. So initially say कि whenever property have a light house, ठीक है?
Mhm.
Initially I give some value, right?
Right.
So property have already house value, right? We create
Mhm.
parent, we create child, but in this child we are not specify anything, right?
Right.
So notice this is the parent class. Just comment run. Let's run it.
Mhm.
So now parent have a own names and something, child have a own name something, right?
Right.
But
Right.
parent have a also property, also have a property, right here,
Mhm. Yeah.
and child don't have anything, but still child can get property. Why?
Ex-
Due to
'cause
this, if I disconnect this
yeah.
disconnect this, there is no relationship. So notice here compiler say get property is no method, because this child class have not a relationship with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you say this means they are going to parent class, and parent class have a this get property method, right?
Right.
So this method can be accessible here.
Okay.
So this is the here note both have a property, like both class
Mm-hmm.
have a property, but here notice in my parent class I define this only method, right?
All
But in
right.
child class we're not defining, right?
No.
So still this child class have this property, right? This method.
Mhm, mhm,
But I let's similarly like get name.
mhm, mhm.
Uh, so let's here if let's this parent say I don't want my property should be inherited. Someone say right, I
Right,
don't want my property can inherit, right?
right.
So how to restrict? How to restrict? I say my I am a parent. I have a child relationship still exists, but I don't want this property can be inherited.
Mhm, mhm.
So simply I say here private. Whenever you say private, that means no child can get this property. In this parent class, don't have any child property. So here restrictions means simply, as understand, that means ki whenever anything private, that cannot be inherited, right?
Okay.
Here it is a public, that means that can be inheritable,
Mhm, mhm.
Got it. Yeah.
right? So even this method are available here. But this class is not defining any property method, right? Why available? Because this parent class already have defined this method. So these methods are inherited in this child class. Any doubt?
Uh,
Yes.
Before it was showing null
Hmm.
because you put the house on the object.
Yeah, I be putting yes, putting as here personal things. Here I am
Oh,
passing
that.
as personal thing, right? Yeah, personal thing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
say
That.
property already have built something around house. So
Okay.
this
Now,
value, yes.
if you put in the child object, if
Hmm?
you put in the child object, if
This
you put,
also.
yeah, if you put that
Hmm.
like
If you
uh,
can write that, there is no problem. If you write this in the child block also, there is no problem. You can.
okay, okay,
But there is this means ki child class also create its own property, right? But here's
Mhm,
right.
our purpose ki child in child class we are not any kind of property word, right?
mhm,
Mm.
No property word. Still, I'll creating the object of child class and I can get the property. From where this method come? If you
It's
notice
from
this child class, there is no any kind of property, right?
right, right. Okay, it's coming from parents.
That means they can inherit from parent. If I
Right.
just remove the relationship, this relationship remove. That
mhm,
means compiler is unhappy. Compiler say there is no get property child have a don't property, right?
mhm,
Right.
Why this come? Because this come due to in relationship. Now we make a relation. Extend keyword used to make a inheritance relationship.
mhm, mhm,
Right.
So here in the Java, whenever you word like a one class A extend class B, that means this is the class going to inherit property from this class, right? This is your parent class, right? This is a
mhm.
parent class and this is your child class. You are making relationship using this extend keyword.
Okay.
If you are not writing this key extend, that means there is no relationship.
Mhm, mhm,
No relations means whatever you written this class only can accessible, right?
mhm, mhm,
Let's here method we can write
mhm,
personal method like get qualification, right? Whatever. So this method we can personal whatever define here child class like a get qualification. The get qualification we can access get qualification because in the child class we have defined get qualification, right?
mhm.
So if oh sorry something running in the table. So here objective is that sometime you are not 10th, right? And similarly if you here say Notice here is no uh,
Get
qualification
property.
method, right?
Yeah.
Because child class have a qualification method they can write, but here there is no any qualification they cannot write, right? Because parent class we have not defined any kind of a get qualification, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to define, then you can write get qualification, and you can again go to call here get qualification, right?
Okay.
So notice property, qualification, but
Mm-hmm.
both have a notice how same property both have, right? But
Mm-hmm.
qualification is a different, right?
You're right.
Because this parent have a different own qualification and this child have a own qualification. But
You're
child
right.
have a qualification, but child is no here you can define any kind of a property, right?
True.
But this
Right.
still from child object we are able to access this property. Why? This is due to inheritance.
Okay. So get property and qualification is not getting inherited because they are using their own.
Right,
If the only thing is getting inheritance is the property because it is defined in the parent.
right. So as of now, just understand there are some things, some methods, some variable can be inheritable, some cannot be inheritable.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So some means how to decide using this access modifier. Using this access modifier. So let's write the separate example. Okay.
Okay.
So in the Java, there are three kind of access modifier.
Mm-hmm.
Access modifier. Like we have study public, right?
Mm-hmm.
And private. And one more is
Uh,
the
Ajay,
protected.
I have a quick question.
Huh.
Line number 25. Yeah,
Yes.
do you have to have that to make it?
Again.
Otherwise, line number 25. Is it
Yes.
necessary to have the empty one?
Yes. I am later part actually there are something we are not covered about like a super and this keyword. So due
Hmm.
to that, this is the reason why we need this. Why need? Uh, this is the rule. Whenever going to create the object of subclass, child class, I am going to create the object of child class, right? Here new
Right.
child, but you make a relationship here, extend parent, right?
Right.
The compiler read this. Oh, this child class have a relationship with the parent, so they are going to create the object of parent class first.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
while creating parent, by default they are going to create the parent equal to parent equal to new blank.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
they check this parent class and there is no any default. If you remove, so compiler is not able to create this parent class because your compiler is not happy. So
Right.
generally,
Oh.
if you're not writing default, that means this parent class have only one constructor. This is right.
Hmm.
So you have to
Right.
pass something here. So today I'm not going to discuss, but there is an option here. You can use this keyword super,
Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
here you can pass something, whatever parent's parent name, and comma your like a parent qualification,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And now compiler is happy. I'm not till now read study about the super. Due to that, I'm saying I'm just with the default. Now notice there is no default needed because
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
this
I see. I see.
constructor,
Mhm.
this parent class have a constructor two argument, right?
Right.
Anyone going to create the parent class object, they have called this constructor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here in this case, this line compiler going to automatically create the constructor for you, but there is a
Mm-hmm.
no default. Then how compiler know ki how I am going to create the parent class object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So second option, I say, okay, no, I cannot going to add the default one. So, wow, okay. So compiler say, okay, give me the second place. This is your constructor. In constructor, you tell me how I am create the parent class object. So you say,
Mm-hmm.
ki, go super. Super means ki this is this class. Super means just superclass. Sometimes say this is a superclass, right? Why? This is a keyword is the super. Super refers to go to the parent class, call the constructor of two argument,
Okay.
right? So this line indicate a compiler is going to create the object of a parent class. Now, whenever I say ki, create the object of child, then now I'm going to create the object of child. Before going to create, this is the constructor, and here I am say go super. Super means what is the super? Super is the parent,
Mhm.
right? Here
Mhm.
mentioned super is the parent. So they are going to the create the parent object. Parent object. The parent object two constructor, two argument. So here you pass the parent a two argument constructor, right?
Mhm.
So here you pass the two argument constructor. Then parent object created. Once done, then this child object going to create. So whenever you are creating the, you can say child object, internally two object created. One for parent, one for child. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a rule. Whenever you are going to create the object of child class, please note that parent class object also going to create. Why? Because this class is going to make a relationship, right? If this
right,
class is not exist, how make a relationship, right?
True.
Here, let's I am just creating the this child class, right?
All right.
Child class. So this new child class going to create as here say कि child is the relationship with the parent. You are
Mhm.
not creating let's parent class object, right? So
Mhm.
compiler making relationship they need a two object at least, right? Here you are creating only the child class object. Here is like a new child, right? They are going to create the object child, but he child class check this is the child of the parent class. So I think they need a relationship. They need a relationship. That means that they mean at least two object, right? So that make a relationship. So compiler going to create what is the parent of this class? Parent of this class is the parent. They are going to create the object of a parent class.
Mm.
Once parent object created, then make a object of a child class. So whenever you are writing this new child, here internally two object is created, right? One is the child class, one is the parent class.
Acha.
If this class exists, then the property inheritance work, right?
Mhm.
If let's this not class exists, then how this C class going to inherit the property?
Mm.
Cannot inherit, right? Logically, think I am going to create the child. So think child can be exist without the parent
No.
real life.
No.
If child coming in the existence only if parent exists, right?
Exactly.
In the real life, parent first come and after that child come, right?
Welcome. Yeah.
correct.
But while writing program, let's say I'm not writing this parent class. I can directly write child class. I can, right? Because in the
Mhm.
computer we can do. So here computer make intelligence. Okay, you are creating the child. That means I have to create first your parent, right? So
All right.
internally they're going to create the first parent and then child.
Child.
Compiler internally make the complete relationship.
True.
Because here compiler not force, hey, a child class go first create the parent. Might be I'm not
Mhm.
interested to create this, right?
Mhm.
Here I'm not creating parent, right? But I'm directly created child. In the
All
real
right.
world it is not possible, right? In the real world direct child cannot appear.
It is not possible, right?
But in the computer say okay, let's computer say you can create the child object. Okay,
Mhm.
you are interested, yes, but I know your parent is this parent. So
Mhm.
internally I am going to create the first your parent first. I'm create a
And
parent. Once parent done, then I'm create to you.
true.
Is it clear?
It is
So
clear.
whenever they are going to create parent object, this means this object they have only constructor of the two argument. That means you
Mhm.
have to tell, hey child, this is my parent constructor, please call them. So this line call your parent constructor.
Acha.
Let's call here like a
Parent
Let's see.
constructor.
Call parent constructor.
Yeah.
Called
Parent constructor.
parent constructor.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And here, notice here I can write at the first line, right? But go to the child. In the child, you cannot write at the first line here. First line you have to take. You are a child. That means the first your parent going to create, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once parent create, then you can write something here.
All right.
Notice the please note that whenever you are writing a child class constructor, and here you are informing my parent would be created like this way, that this is the first line of code. This
Mm-hmm.
line cannot be second. This line I cannot write at here, because you are going to child constructor and print something. That means your
Mm-hmm.
parent is not created till now, right? Then how
Yeah.
child exists? So compiler is now saying I'm not allow this. First line
Mm-hmm.
of the constructor would be only inform compiler, so compiler create your parent. So here I am saying, hey, okay, for super, this is my parent, this is my parent name, this is my parent qualification, and go create the parent. So this line first going to create your parent. Once
Mm-hmm.
parent creation done, then going to create your child. Let's run. Notice here I am creating only one object, child, but internally compiler create two. Notice here called parent constructor first. Notice then called
Mm-hmm.
child constructor.
All right.
So this is the some rule about the inheritance. This due to this line. This is the
Mm-hmm.
relationship inheritance.
Acha.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
might be this parent class have a one more class. Let's see grandparent. Okay, class
Mm-hmm.
grandparent.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one more part, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here let's see they extend grandparent, right?
Okay.
Right, and here let's key they have a like one constructor like name only. Let's keep one
Mm-hmm.
constructor string name just.
Ajib, I'll be back within like 30 seconds. You can continue. Okay. Sorry, Ajay bhai. Yeah. হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, অজয় ভাই ক্লাস শেষ করে দিল।
লাইন তো মনে হয় গেছে গা। আমি তো মেসেজ দিছি যে আপনার হিস্ট্রিটা ফ্রিজ হয়ে গেছে।
ও আচ্ছা, মানে আবার ঢুকবো।
দাঁড়া দাঁড়া আমি আবার
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
আমি আমি আউট হইছি, এখন আর ঢুকতে পারতেছি না।
ও আচ্ছা, আমি তো এখনো বসে আছি। আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে।
আমার আমার থাকা উচিত ছিল, কিন্তু
আচ্ছা,
এখন যে
অসুবিধা নেই।
রেডি টু জয়েন মেসেজটা দিচ্ছি।
ও
আমি আর ইন করতে পারতেছি না, ভাবছি যে আমি ক্লোজ করে আপনি আবার ঢুকবো।
ভাইয়ের কারেন্ট গেছে মনে হয়।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ, এখন আটকে গেছে ভিডিও।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে, ওয়েট করতেছি দেখি কি হয়।
তুই ওয়েট কর, এখন আমি তো আছি। আমাকে
অজয় ভাই ঢুকছে। অজয় ভাই, রিয়াদ, ওকে, রিয়াদ ইউ ক্যান ট্রাই নাও।
রেডি টু জয়েন।
রেডি
Riyadh.
জয়েন, জয়েন।
So we are. Let my screen share. Not.
Not yet. Ajay
It
bhai,
says you
yeah.
join when someone lets you in.
Ajay bhai,
Hmm.
Riyad is not able to connect. Yeah, yeah, he's no.
Okay.
Ajay bhai, one
Hmm.
second. Riyad is not able to join. So I believe you have to give him permission or
Okay.
something.
No.
Riyad, just close it and try again.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
They
Right.
can join again.
I'm close.
Okay.
I'm
Riyad is trying because suddenly, like, I don't know why he logged off.
Again join.
He's trying to, but like he's not able to. He's trying to join, but he's not able to join because of someone. Uh, he was getting the error message like someone need to give you the permission to let in here or something like that.
I'm not getting any notification like here, right?
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. He will just we are closure.
Anis,
Let's complete. Okay.
First, আচ্ছা, ইয়ে বাইরে প্রায় শেষ করে দিব।
আমাকে ওই মেসেজে দিচ্ছে, কেন দিচ্ছে আমি বলতেছি না।
Okay, I believe it is not much class. Ajay bhai, how long it gonna continue?
Just going to complete. Just okay.
Okay. আচ্ছা, প্রায় শেষ হয়ে যাচ্ছে, তো ভিডিওটা দেখে নিলেই হবে না?
Okay.
আচ্ছা ঠিক আছে,
Okay,
সমস্যা
okay,
নেই, ঠিক
আচ্ছা
আছে
ঠিক আছে,
ঠিক আছে।
okay, okay, okay. Yeah, Ajay bhai, yeah.
Okay. So we are here like I'm saying whenever child class going to create by
Mm-hmm.
default his parent class going to invoke, right?
Mm-hmm. True.
Same thing we study look the response like whenever I
Mm-hmm.
am saying create my child class. So
Mm-hmm.
in reality, child not exists without parent. So compiler internally what they go check your class. This is child class. This is
Mm-hmm.
the parent is the super class. First going to create the parent object, right? This is the first
Right,
parent object. Once
right.
parent creation done, then going to create the child object, right?
That's
This is
it.
the reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
But might be case our parent have also some superclass like we discussed ki our inheritance can be multi-level, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to say clear I can create the class like grandparent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Grandparent, and they have a constructor like a constructor, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like a name.
Name, qualification.
Okay, this just name like
Okay, okay.
so just intention is that here I'm trying to say now our grandparent constructor also called
Mm-hmm.
grandparent constructor called.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First this, and this is the parent constructor call,
Right.
and this is your
Child constructor.
child constructor is called.
Mm-hmm.
So now notice here, whenever you, that means this parent class make a relationship with the grandparent, that means
Mm-hmm.
we write the extend parents, right?
Right.
Grandparent, right?
Grandparent. Yeah.
Grandparent. So
Yeah.
whenever you make relationship, that means ki whenever parent going to create, before
Mm-hmm.
parent is grandparent must be created, right? So here
Right.
compiler is not happy ki you are creating the parent class but not creating the grandparent.
True.
So here I say okay, super my grandparent name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Acha, 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 acha.
You have to say. So first line of constructor always inform you go create the first my parent, right?
Acha, acha, acha. Mm-hmm.
So if you run here in this way, first I'm here main method say well create the child, but child not exist until his inheritance not exist, right? So
Mm-hmm.
notice going to create child before child parent before child grandparent, right?
True,
The first,
true.
that means here say ki new child object. Here I am creating only one object, right? But
Mm-hmm.
compiler going to create the your child object and in notice oh this is the relationship. The first they go create the parent object, right? And while
Mm-hmm.
parent object they also find oh this is the relationship, then they
Mm-hmm.
again go create the parent. So first going to create the parent relationship, then going to create the
Child.
grandparent, first grandparent,
Grandparent. Yeah,
then
grandparent, then parent,
parent,
then
parent,
child.
then child object.
All right.
So overall this uh, example, whenever I am going to create one child
Mm-hmm.
internally, child
Mm-hmm.
object create before parent create before grandparent create,
You're right. Right. Right.
because this is the reality.
True. True.
If we have any relationship, first your parent relationship exists, right? Then first
True.
parent exists.
True.
So this is the your multi-level inheritance. That means your child class inherit feature from the parent and parent inherit feature from the grandparent.
You're right.
So here look like in the main method, I'm only create the child class. That
Mm-hmm.
means not just only one object create. Internally, they create the complete hierarchy, complete
Mm-hmm.
inheritance, all the
Mm-hmm.
relations.
You're right.
So in Java, here example, like we create the child.
Mm-hmm.
Child is the parent. Parent is the right parent, and parent have a grandparent.
Grandparent.
And similarly, parent also have a Java is the super class of all classes is the
Mm-hmm.
object. So notice in Java, object is the super class of all classes.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one class in the Java by default exists in the class, right? So
Right.
what is the super class of this? Grandparent is the object.
Grandparent is object now. Yeah.
So this is the multi-label inheritance. Means you can write one class, extend another class, extend another class.
True.
A final class in the Java is the object class. This is the super class of each and every Java. If you write or not here in the grandparent, I am not extending anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can compiler by default make inheritance from object class. Notice
Mm-hmm.
here I can inherit some classes, some property from the object class.
Mm-hmm.
So go to this Google and Java object class.
Mm-hmm.
Object class. Object class is the super class of all classes. This is the object class.
Mm-hmm.
No? This is the object class. Is the super class of all classes.
Mm. Oh, it's a object class. Okay.
This is the object in this is a class. This is the
Mm-hmm.
by default each class is inherited this object class.
Right. Okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah, it is.
So maybe you write or not write. Here,
Mm-hmm.
let's I write a simple like a
Mm-hmm.
class test, right? Test
Mm-hmm.
class. So by
Mm-hmm.
default, this test class is the subclass of your. Here I can say test
Mm-hmm.
object object equal to new test, right? Here
Mm-hmm.
say. But by default, this class here you cannot define any method, right?
All
But
right.
I can write some method s out test
Mm-hmm.
dot I can say like a to string. Or here these are the method by default inherited from object class like a ha-
Like a super. Yeah.
has code
Mm-hmm.
like these are the method are already defined in this. Not you notice test class is nothing, right? I am
Mm-hmm.
creating the test class object and I can invoke two method. Where this
Mm-hmm.
method?
Mm-hmm.
The main reason each and every class is by default subclass of your object class.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one rule Java implemented, right? Notice here two method invoke, right? Both are responding, right?
All right.
So from where in this class I'm not written any line, right? Still I call two method. That means this method come from inheritance. So if you click here, you notice this is the highest code method and this is the class name object.
Mm-hmm.
This class, object class, is the super class of all classes in Java.
All right.
And these are the methods. By default, you are getting like a wait method, toString
Mm-hmm.
method,
Mm-hmm.
notify method, hash code method, get
Mm-hmm.
class method, equals method, clone method.
Okay.
Okay, so these are method like equals method, like
Mm-hmm.
your hash code method, or notify method, or toString method, or wait method. These methods you can get each and every Java object.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because these are defined inside the here object class, and all the classes you are writing or not writing, each and every class have this method.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll still continue the inheritance, but as of now, Ria is not there, right? So we are
Mm-hmm.
closing it, right? Till now, any question you have?
No, no. I'm good. Like I do understand now
Ah, so
what
in
are
the
the topics.
whatever the
Yeah.
real life uh, inheritance meaning, same is inheritance meaning in the programming. But
True.
in the programming, real life, this is the one object and two object have a relationship that my I and my son have a relationship. But there is no
True.
any kind of physical relationship, look, but just assumption, right? I
Mm-hmm.
assume this is my child. My child assume this is my parent, right?
Right.
But in the programming, there is no any assumption, right? So we have
Right.
to give some indication, hint to compiler, right? This is the relationship. So that
Right.
hint is the extend keyword.
Acha.
Whenever you write one class, extend, and this is the class. That
Another.
means this is the one class, and this is the another class, and this is
Mm-hmm.
the relationship.
Acha. Acha.
If
Acha.
you not writing this extend,
Mm-hmm.
that means like here in the test
Mm-hmm.
class,
Mm-hmm.
I am not writing any extend, right?
Mm-hmm.
So by default, compiler says this is a test class. You are not extending anyone, but still I can extend your class to the object class.
Acha.
So by default, Java is the inherited. Each and every object by default support the inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
Because all class in the Java is the subclass of this object class.
Mm-hmm.
This is the default inheritance, and this is the you manually seek. Now I am my parent is going to inherit from the grandparent, right? The- if you
Definitely.
want to manually in this is the keyword you have to extend.
Right.
Extend keyword indicate your Java compiler, hey, now Java developer want to make a relationship between the parent and grandparent.
Grandparent. Yeah. Sure.
So let's practice. We'll continue if any doubt question with this
Okay.
inheritance.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay, we are good for the day.
Yeah. Good for the day, Ajay.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Ajay. See you tomorrow.
Yes.